In the Second Age, Sauron was at the height of his power and conquering the free peoples of Middle-earth. The Elves and Men of Numenor formed an alliance to resist his dark power. A vast force marched into the lands of Mordor to lay siege to Sauron's fortress of Barad-dûr. Join us in this game as we play out an incredible siege battle with over 350 miniatures. Will the Dark Lord be able to resist the Free Peoples, or will they break down his gates and storm into his fortress? Welcome to Conquest Creations. The good side in this battle is led by Elendil, the High King of Gondor and Arnor, as well as Gil-galad, the High King of the Elves. There's over 125 warriors, mixed of warriors of Numenor and High Elves. They're also led by Elrond, Isildur, Anarion, Isildur's brother, who we have a custom profile for, and Eristor. They also have a task force of Rivendell Knights that will arrive after the gate has gone down. The evil side has approximately 200 warriors in it, comprising of mainly orcs, but also Morgul Stalkers, Black Númenóreans, and Orc Trackers. Along with that, they have 4 brutal trolls, and importantly, they have the Dark Lord Sauron himself and his entourage of the Black Guard of Barad-dûr. The objectives for this game are simple. The good side wants to conquer all the buildings inside Barad-dûr. At the end of the game, if you have more models inside a building than your opponent, you will score 1 point per building. The Citadel, the main building, is worth 3 points. That means there's a maximum of 9 points to be scored here. There's also a jail filled with Númenórean prisoners. If you can destroy the palisade and they escape, you'll get 1 point for that building. While Sauron is atop his Dark Citadel, he gets unlimited range on all of his spells. We also have a sudden death condition. If the evil side is able to kill Gil-galad, Elrond, Elendil, and Isildur, they will instantly win. Whereas if the good side kills Sauron, they will instantly win. Let's meet our players and get into this game. Welcome back to Conquest Creations. My name is Jacob, the Conquest Creator, and in today's video we have a massive siege. My responsibility of this game is to keep this keep safe. Sean can worry about the walls and some of the outer buildings, but I'm going to worry about the stuff that's worth the most points. I've got Sauron up here, and he's planning on killing a lot of heroes this game.
Hi, I'm Sean. And I will be one of the defenders today of this beautiful kingdom of Azragor. My responsibility is to just throw waves and waves of orcs towards the walls to stop the good guys from getting over them.
Hey guys, I'm Alex and I'm going to be leading the attackers on the Siege of Azragor. The thing I've been charged with doing is getting through the gate. So I've been given Elendil and Glorfindel on horse. We're going to make sure they get through the gate and kill whatever's in front of them, make some space and just get the troops in behind them.
What up guys, it's PJ here, looking forward to another awesome bat rep today. Today I'm taking care of the good guys. I've been tasked with taking care of Gil-galad and Elrond, and we're going to take care of the walls and try and get as many guys as we can up over the walls, take control, then start feeding into the barracks. Hopefully Elrond can get off some spells and knock the guys over and see what we can do.
The good side's pretty terrifying. Got a lot of big heroes running around there.
Obviously we have some big heroes, but the worst thing that could happen is if we fluff some rolls against all the trolls behind the lines, they're going to throw us around, dismount the heroes and do a lot of damage.
I think it's going to be a tough game at the start, getting over the walls, getting through the gates. They've got a lot of trolls through here. We're going to be outnumbered, but I think we can get to each building, take them over and hopefully be there at the end of the game.
The thing that I'm definitely the most scared about is the number of heroes the good side has and them just absolutely ripping through our lines. We here at Conquest Creations have been working hard on this terrain for a long time now, and finally this game is in front of us. The whole time we're designing this terrain, we're thinking exactly how to use it in game, so this is the time we get to test it all out. The terrain that we're playing on today is the Kingdom of Azragor, and if you want to create this terrain for yourself, you can get STL files of every single building on our Kickstarter that's available right now. The Kingdom of Azragor is our original design. You may want to use it for wargaming or simply for diorama building. In this game, we're using it to represent the fortress of Barad-dûr. When you pick up this terrain, you can also pick up Kingdom of Saxonia and Kingdom of Durek Deep as add-ons at their original Kickstarter prices, which is a decent discount. Also, if you run a 3D printing business and you want to produce and sell physical sets of these models, you can get a merchant tier license. For the Kingdom of Azragor, we have a ton of stretch goals. That means that if more and more people support the project, we'll be able to add more and more buildings. Thank you for listening, and now, let's get into this battle. And the battle begins. First time priority always goes to the attackers, and it's very predictable what they're doing, just running forwards and putting those siege ladders up as quickly as possible. They don't have many turns to get into the castle and start claiming these buildings, so they are just going to push hard and fast. The siege tower gets up to the wall, and the battering ram runs up to the gate. With that, it's going to go into the evil move phase, where Sean and I are just shimmying our troops forwards. We want to make sure we have a good force of orcs ready to meet them behind the gate. And along the walls, this is what we're looking like.
Big Boss Sauron is going to attempt to chill soul on one of these lads in the tower. I'm going to go for one of the elves out front. All right, so we're going to need a big 4. Take it away. There it is,
Bang.
on the 4.
On the Rabtastic dice, and that is the first elf taken out.
Into the shooting phase, we're going to get the trebuchet to shoot at the troll. We thought about shooting the gate for later turns, but we'll shoot the troll now and see how we go. Hits on a 6. Scatter.
And because of the scatter roll, the trebuchet missed the troll and it killed 2 orcs nearby. The good side has a lot of archers, but the good thing is we're sitting behind these walls, which give us a massive defensive bonus.
Needing a 3 to hit. 2 of them hit. A 5+ to get past the barricade. 1 goes through, and 5's to wound. No wound.
Survived the onslaught of Elvish and Numenorian bows, but it's now our turn to retaliate with a couple of trackers and a few piddly little orc bowmen. So I have 12 orc trackers that I'm going to shoot with first. They hit on a 4+, and I think I'm just going to go straight back at their bowmen.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Get 1.
And the next shot is targeting Anarion, Isildur's brother, but it's coming from the siege bows. This is a dangerous, dangerous war machine, but it does only hit on a 5.
Nothing.
That's a big miss. And across the rest of our shooting, we managed to take down 1 more elven archer. For the amount of models on the tables, we actually didn't kill very much. That took us into the combat phase where the poor orcs in the camp outside the gate got absolutely decimated. And next up, we have the battering ram going into the gate. The gate is defense 10 and has 3 wounds, but the battering ram gets to make 2 strength 10 hits against it, so it's 4s to wound.
Let's hope we get 2. Just
1 wound, so the gate's down to 2 wounds. And that takes us into turn 2, where the elves are climbing up their ladders to try to get a foothold on the walls. And Elrond's running forwards in the siege tower, and he's going to cast some magic.
Wrath of Bruinen goes off on a 4. It's going to do a strength 2 hit to each model within 3 inches. And they'll be knocked prone, so they'll have no control zones, so the models can then move in.
This Wrath of Bruinen was a great play for getting more elves onto the walls, and Elrond and Gil-galad stormed out. They are going to absolutely shred those orcs on the walls. I am so sorry for them. That did go into our movement next, and we're just reinforcing our lines at the gate, ready for whatever foul creatures come through it. And that takes us into the shooting phase.
Well, that was a terrible shoot phase from the good side. We had more than 12 shots. I think we only killed 1 measly orc tracker.
Take him out, Sean. And the evil side shot back, and look, we didn't do great, but we managed to kill 1 elf. And if you ask me, that orc tracker is probably like 16 years old, and this elf could be like 1,000. So we're doing pretty well. That takes us into the combat phase. PJ, what's happening here?
So we're going to do a double combat. 1 with Gil-galad and friend versus an orc, and 1 with Elrond versus 2 orcs. We'll do the Gil-galad battle first.
Prone.
Double 6s will kill him.
So Gil-galad cleared out this opponent, and then that elf and him are just going into more orcs. Next up was Elrond, who's fighting against 2 orcs, but both of them are prone because of the Wrath of Bruinen spell, which made them easy for Elrond to kill, and then he just charged into 2 more orcs, just trying to get as many kills as possible. And around the battlefield, several elves managed to get kills from the top of the ladders, meaning that they could climb onto the wall. And the elf from the heroic combat with Gil-galad didn't kill his opponent, but Gil-galad killed 2 more. And we're up to the battering ram. So again, 2 dice. It has 2 wounds left. 2 forwards here. Can see the gate going down.
I'd love to get it. Just one.
We'll take
Just
it.
one, so it's on one wound left. And priority this turn has gone evil. Is there any heroics coming out of the good side?
No, we'll let them have it this turn.
This is a good chance for us to try to slow down their progression onto the walls. We just need to outlast them, so if we can slow them down, we can win this game. So we've had 2 orcs try to charge into Gil-galad, but because he causes terror, both of them have failed. That takes us into the good movement side, and Gil-galad's just charging into more orcs, which makes a lot of sense, and the guys from the siege tower are just pouring on the walls.
So we've had a Restor climb. We've moved a elf in the way of a Restor, out of the way. Restor got up, threw a dagger up the ladder with the in the way, killed the orc on the top, and he's now climbing up and charging this archer right there.
Down below, the last alliance is just clearing out the last couple of orcs from the orc camp, and the elves are able to get into this tower, which has a pathway down to the ground below them. In the evil movement phase, everything just pushed forwards. We're rushing to the gate and we're rushing to the wall so that we'll be able to hold them up. But Sauron, atop his tower, cast another Chill Soul. He's just been killing an elf per turn. That took us into the shooting phase, which was uneventful and only saw 1 orc dying.
All right, we're going to go the trebuchet again, shooting at the troll.
That is a miss once again. So Trebuchet not really doing much of anything.
It's more of a threat.
And that takes us into the combat phase. And this time we're going to start with the battering ram. 2 dice, a single 4-up will destroy that gate.
That's all we need.
Yes!
The gate going down was sad, but we were ready for it and expecting it. And you can see our horde of orcs just waiting on the other side. Around the combat phase, we actually did alright, managed to get an elf kill on the wall. And every kill up there is just going to slow them down. Gil-galad and Arestor obviously just destroyed their opponents, and we did lose some more orcs. The defense 3 trackers are good at shooting, so it's nice they're up on the walls, but man, did they die quickly up there. And the last 2 orcs in the orc camp outside the walls are finally dead.
Well, after all that time, we have finally killed all the orcs in the camp. There's nothing stopping us from going up and over the wall. And our 2 heroes have sieved through all the orcs on the top. Next turn, we'll be moving down and trying to capture some of those buildings.
And priority this turn went to the good side, so we are just ready behind this gate to receive whatever demons come through that gate.
So now that we've cleared the walls, we can put the ladders down on the other side and start getting our troops to move over and hopefully capture those buildings.
And on top of the walls, there are still a few orcs that are holding up the attackers, so the elves are going to try to clear them out so they can get the rest of their troops up on top of the wall. And in this open space where all the orcs are dead, they are just flooding up the ladder and populating the wall. Now, inside the gate, they decided that they would move their troops out of the way so that their cavalry charge can arrive. These guys should hit really hard and they're going to try to punch through our defenders. But also, there's a strike team of elves that have climbed up the wall and down the tower, and they're ready to run out next turn.
We have decided in our movement phase that we are just going to really defend that gate. So we're going to lock our shields together, spears behind, and we're going to prepare to receive the charge from the oncoming Rivendell Knights.
And here's an overview of our board. It's so much fun and so exciting having this many models. And Sauron did his Chill Soul spell, going at this elf on the wall, managing to take down another elf. And with that, we went into the shooting phase where the elves shot up at these trackers up on the wall, and they actually managed to take down both of them.
PJ's been rolling quite abysmally with the Numenorian trebuchet, so I'm going to have a go at it. Going for the troll once again, just needing that 4.
Not a hit.
Do you spend the might for it?
Spend a point of might.
Spend a point of might.
All right,
Why
so
not?
that's a siege veteran spent.
We'll scatter off the table. We're going to roll a 6 here.
Ooh.
Let's just cut it.
So Alex, I think that PJ's outperformed you, given that he has hit something at least once.
And also didn't spend mine.
On the evil side, all of the archers from the walls are dead, but we have our siege bow going down into Anarion.
Yeah, so Siege Bow into Anarion, needing a big 5. There's a 1.
Big
You
miss.
love to see it.
Now there are orc archers stationed in all of the buildings, and they're able to fire at the attackers now. They aren't actually managing to do much damage. In fact, shooting across this whole battle report so far has been pretty wimpy, not getting many kills. So that takes us into the combat phase where there's not a heap this turn, just the last few orcs on the walls are trying to survive, but not being very successful, and we're trying to maintain control of this tower. And here we are at the end of another turn. Let's see the priority roll. It goes to the good side. All right, I think we're going to get hit by a cavalry charge this turn, Sean.
I think so.
The good guys started by pushing down the ladders, bringing Elrond and Gil-galad both within the walls of the kingdom of Azragor, or Barad-dûr in this case, and those cavalry were charging through. There's a lot of Rivendell knights and they're going to hit really hard.
And in the evil movement phase, Sauron did his chill soul up from his grand tower, managed to take down one of the Rivendell knights. Sauron did that at the start of the move, and the rest of his move is going to be moving down the tower.
Down by the ladders, my troll just charged into combat. That troll's going to be able to get a lot of kills if he can just get stuck into the elves and rip through 2 a turn. And elsewhere, my orcs are just charging forwards. We just need to survive for 11 turns, so as long as we can hold them here as long as possible, we'll be able to protect our city. And the fights in the gates started with our orc captain losing but not getting killed, and losing several orcs to the charging knights.
And in the fight phase, the troll has just won the fight against his cavalry. Sean, what are we going to do with it?
The troll is going to pick up that Riv Knight and he's going to hurl him down the line. And I think he's going to knock over maybe 4 other knights.
All right, that would be a really, really good start for us. We can start slowing down some of the damage they're doing.
All right, so the hurl distance is the difference between our strengths and D3.
Exactly. So let's see how far he goes. That's a lot.
Big.
So we're strength 7, they're strength 3, so it's 4 inches plus 3 is 7 inches.
He's going to hit the back wall. So all right, let's go with him first. And the first initial strength 6 hit, is it? Ooh, he's loving it. And then he'll take 4 more for hitting those 4 friends.
Yeah, he's doing
And the 6 will get him.
And the hurl from these trolls is really effective at dealing with cavalry. We didn't manage to get that many kills. It only killed 2 of the knights, which look is still pretty good, but it knocked other ones off their horses, which is really, really helpful for us because they're not going to be able to hit as hard next turn. And next troll lost his fight, and the Rivendell Knight killed the orc that he was going up against, but wasn't able to wound our troll. It's sad to see it lose a fight, but you've got to expect a bit of that. Up on the wall, this orc lost his fight, but managed to survive, so he can just tie up those models for next turn. And down below, the orc rabble started by just attacking all of the attackers, and they got a few kills, lost several fights, and hey, they're orcs, we can't expect too much from them, so we did take a few casualties, but overall their job is just to be a speed bump. As long as they can hold up the enemy for long enough, we can win this game. That troll, of course, did get a kill. Funnily enough, Gil-galad, the High King of the Elves, failed to kill the orc that he was fighting against. And with that, our fight phase has wrapped up, and we're moving into the next turn, which is turn 6. So there's only 5 more turns to go from here, and at the moment, the evil side is still controlling all of the buildings. With this turn, we're able to get a few traps on the attackers coming down the walls and just charge into as many of them as possible. If we have enough orcs, eventually we'll win some fights and get some kills. Importantly, the troll is just charging into some Numenorians, knowing that he's got great odds of getting kills. Again, we just sent orcs forwards, hoping to hold that line. And at the gate, we just rushed forwards and charged Eristor with the troll.
So PJ, you've just moved Elrond, and what are you going to do with him?
Gonna cast my last point of will on a Wrath of Bruinen.
Alright, roll that dice. On a 3, it does not go off, so it's just Elrond versus a troll, and that troll's still standing.
And at the gate, they're just pushing through with as many soldiers as possible. The cavalry bases are big, so they kind of clog up the space, so they're getting some infantry through as well, which gives them more numbers on our side of the gate.
And here we are at the end of the move phase. Alex, you ended up calling heroic movement with some of your elves in here, and they ran in, and now they have been ganked by orcs. What was the plan there?
I actually don't mind the position we're in, so we've called the heroic move just to get out of the tower. I'm happy even if Eristor goes and gets killed right now, we've made a headway and we've started getting out of the tower. As long as we keep moving, that's everything. We've pulled a troll away from the front as well, so now Elendil, Isildur, and Glorfindel can just try and push their way through.
Fantastic. And around the rest of the battlefield, every elf that can climb down these ladders is, but there is a horde of orcs there to meet them. And the battle at the gate is going alright for evil, but it looks like Elendil is going to come through, so we'll see how that goes. And shooting this turn was remarkably ineffective. Both siege weapons missing, and only a single orc went down for the whole phase. And that takes us into the combat phase, where the good side is called Heroic Strike with Elrond, and Elendil is called his Free Heroic Combat. So Elrond's Strike takes him to fight 10. Alright, Troll, I'm on a 5 high. So I'm currently on a 5. You're on a 4.
I'll do Lord of the West into the 6. Sixes on all the colour dice. Blues are 6s by 4s.
So there is just 1 wound on the troll.
Yeah, I'll let him just take the 1 wound. I think I'll keep the might.
Do your Lord of the West.
Oh, yep.
All right. So the troll is 1 wound, and that means Elrond has 1 point of might left. I think that's actually fine with me.
And around the side of the board, more and more orcs went down, but we still won plenty of fights and were able to push back some of the elves and Númenóreans. And the last orc up on this section of the wall finally went down.
So we've come to one of the bigger fights in this combat phase for us, and that is the troll up against Eristor. The fight, I'll let you set the tone for me.
Massive
Ooh, it's
6.
big. Oh, and the troll fluffs it.
Love it. Winning on 6s, your defense 8,
Yes.
I believe. 7, 8, doesn't matter. 6s, re-rolling because I have the daggers.
That's 1
Just the
wound.
one.
He's down to 2.
Elendil had successfully got his heroic combat off and then went and killed 2 more orcs. That's 3 kills for him this turn. And this troll pushed back and lost a wound. Now we've gone into turn 7 and priority went to the evil side, but the good called a heroic move in the middle, so we counted and the roll off went our way, so the orcs are charging in and we're just trying to dogpile Elendil to keep him in that one spot so his heroic combat doesn't go off. Gil-galad did call a heroic move that he did get to go off, which just let the elves push towards the citadel, which can be worth a ton of points and just engage as many guys as possible in favorable positions. This is the result of their heroic, where Elrond hasn't moved yet. You can see that all these guys are trying to push through that line. In Evil's regular move, this troll is running forwards, hoping to get towards those heroes so he can kill them, and then we're just engaging as many people as possible and trying to chuck our troll into Elrond to keep him tied up and hopefully start working towards killing him. The big thing we did this turn was it was Sauron's time to come out of the citadel and start killing guys. With him, he has his elite cadre of Blackguard of Barad-dûr. These are the most elite orcs you can get, and they are ready to run out and help kill the enemies with Sauron. So far, we haven't killed that many elves, and look, I think that is about to change, because Sauron and his Blackguard are absolutely brutal. Look at how nice these miniatures are. The good side finished their movement phase by just running as many guys down off the walls as possible. The shooting this turn was again surprisingly ineffective. So far this whole game, not a lot of models have died to shooting.
So that starts the combat phase. Are there any heroics from the good side?
Any on your own, PJ?
Nothing from my end.
We're going to have Glorfindel call a heroic combat. It won't actually achieve too much. He's probably going to kill maybe 3. But I'm scared about that troll possibly winning and throwing that Rivendell Knight into him and losing my horse. May as well get as much effectiveness out of it while I still have him mounted.
All right, and I think on the evil side, we don't have anything to call.
No, nothing from us.
And there was no surprise when Glorfindel managed to kill a single orc, and then he charged into 2 more, just trying to maximize kills and punch through our defenders that are holding the gate.
And because it's evil's priority, we've decided to do our troll next. So it's this troll here fighting the Rivendell Knights. Sean, you want to set the bar?
Setting that tone. Come
Come
on,
on.
big 6. Big 5.
It's a 5, and there's no banner in there. So the Riv Knights,
2 Knights.
3 high, but they do have a banner.
Come on, big 6 for the elves.
No.
Oh, Khan the troll.
Goes the troll. All right. Sean, what are you going to do?
This troll is going to go for an almighty hurl. That is looking to knock Isildur off his horse and potentially hit a few troops along the way. So let's do that. Alright, the knight goes back. Ooh, an extra inch. So that's 5 inches.
5 inches. So that is going to hit a lot of guys in there.
I think you might get to an Arion.
All the trolls across the table have been having a fantastic game, which is awesome because in competitive play, usually they leave a little bit to be wanting for. But today, they're really showing their use, especially in these hurls that are holding up the gate. Without them, I reckon the good side would have punched through much earlier.
There he is.
So that ended up hurting quite a lot for the good side. They lost a couple horses off Isildur and Anarion, but also, was it 1 or 2 Númenóreans in there?
2 Númenóreans.
And then, of course, the Rivendell Knight. So that troll has done well for himself.
And the battle is just raging all around the board. Over on this wide flank, the one that I'm controlling, and I'm playing against PJ here, it doesn't go too well for me this turn. The troll just lost his fight against some warriors, which was super frustrating. And then orcs just started dying. We took probably about a half dozen casualties just on one flank really quickly here, which definitely made me scared because this flank is really important for holding all 4 of the buildings behind it. Over by the gate, the good thing is that things fared much better. We didn't lose many orcs and managed to kill quite a few elves and Numenorians, and importantly, the troll managed to put a wound on Aristor and he failed his fate, so he's got 1 wound and no fate remaining, which is awesome. Elendil didn't have a good turn, he lost his fight but didn't lose his horse.
And here we are at the start of the next turn. Priority has gone evil. What's happened, Sean? What have we done?
Alright, so there were a couple of heroics called. What's his name? Elendil was one of them that called it. The Orc captain has countered, and because he is such a mighty hero, he has won it for a 2nd turn in a row. So him and his boys are going to clog up that gate again to really hold back the last alliance here, and hopefully we can win the game through holding them back.
Nice, and we just need to survive in this castle. So if we can hold them at that gate, that's going to hopefully get us quite a lot of points. But over here, this side is sort of crumbling a little bit, but we can move first, so hopefully we can hold them off just for a bit longer.
Alright, so Sauron has trudged forward towards Gil-galad. Just before he moved, he was in range of Aristor with his 18-inch Chill Soul. So he's going to throw 1 from the store and 1 from free one at Aristor. Show me that 4, baby. Oh, love to see it on a big Rabtastic 6.
All right, so Alex, you're resisting here.
Yeah, Aristor's got 1 wound, no fate, but he does have 2 will points and a might point, so hopefully we should be able to make do. Let's see what happens. 4 high.
He's
Even
dead.
if the might point can't do it, he takes a wound and dies.
And around the rest of the board, everything is just charging in again, holding up the goodies as much as we can with that troll going into combat, hoping to get some more kills, and that captain is holding strong with his troops. There's still a lot of orcs around, but the lines are starting to get thin, and we can see that because at one point, the Numenorians and Elves have actually punched through around the side. Now this is a problem because they're going after the buildings.
And these 2 elves have entered the barracks. That means there's 2 elves inside, and on the rooftop, there's 3 orcs. So evil still holds it for now, but if one of those orcs goes down, or another good model, which looks like there's plenty of them around here, goes in, that's going to be the first building to fall.
And this troll was surrounded and trapped by Gil-galad, which is not good because Gil-galad's fight 9, so it could be in a lot of danger.
And in here, the Elves and Numenorians have poured into the arena, making it the 2nd building to fall for the battle, but also just for this turn. So hopefully, some of the evil guys are going to start to put in some work. After a very uneventful shooting phase, that takes us into the combat phase. Good guys, any heroics to declare in there?
Yeah, I'm going to call a strike with Elrond down here,
All right, fighting the troll.
and then we're going to call a combat with Gil-galad over there.
That's huge. So is that both of them out of might?
That is both of them out of might, but we're moving
Fantastic.
forward.
And Alex, what about yourself?
I've got plenty of might left on the table, so I think left to right, Elendil calls a free one, Glorfindel uses his 2nd point for a combat as well. Anarion uses his 1st point for a combat after surviving 2 siege bow shots, and Isildur in with the troll calls a strike.
Wow, okay, that was a lot of stuff.
Anarion went first and he managed to kill the Morgul Stalk that he was up against and join his brother Isildur against the troll. Glorfindel unsurprisingly killed the single orc that he was up against and then charged into 2 more just to maximize his kills and punch through.
And our next fight is Gil-galad fighting the troll. You've got a bunch of guys. I'll set the bar for you. I'm on a 5. Can you beat that? You're on a 5 as well, but you're a higher fight, so you have won that. Now, Gil-galad will need 5s.
So this is Gil-galad.
There's...
That's
wow,
3.
that was 3 wounds. That's
That's
a troll
enough.
dead.
And then because all of my warriors passed their courage checks going into the troll, they won't have to make any more courage checks. So we're going straight into the big man himself.
Brilliant. It's Sauron versus Gil-galad. That's what we've been waiting for. And our next fight is Elrond going up against a troll. Let's see your heroic strike. What do you get up
See what my
to?
strike is.
Your
Nice.
fight 10. All right. I'll set the bar for you. I'm on a 5.
So I got 3 from Elrond.
A 5, and because of your heroic strike, that will win you the fight.
You're not trapped in this one. So he's only got 2 wounds left.
Oh! So
That'll
those
be
2
enough.
6s is 2 more wounds on the troll because of Numenorian strength 4. That is the 2nd troll dead this turn. Our next fight is this troll in here fighting Isildur, Anarion, and a Rivendell Knight. You guys did call a strike, so let's see the strike.
Isildur from fight 6 up to fight 10, so I won't faint because you'll fight 7.
I will set the tone with my big troll, who has already taken 1 wound.
Yes, yes.
There's a 6. Big fail charge 6.
I'm on a 5 so far with Isildur. I'll use my banner.
Yep.
Don't get it. Do we have a Riv Knight in there who charged in? So I'll roll 2 more dice. Nothing. I'm gonna have to spend a might point with Isildur to win the fight.
All right.
And then we'll make strikes.
So is that Isildur with 1 left, or is he out?
Isildur with 1 left.
All right.
First set of strikes. It's cocked. Nothing. And since he's trapped, 1 wound.
Troll has 1 wound left.
We then have an Arion, or 4, 5, 6s, nothing.
And a
And
Rivendell
then
Knight.
3s.
So that is 3 trolls dead this turn. Ouch.
So things are already going poorly, and these orcs, who are really importantly trying to hold this flank and keep the buildings behind them safe, lost 2 guys, which was not good. Around the battlefield, the orcs must have heard that the trolls died because they were not fighting well, and boy did we take a lot of casualties in here. We had 3 fights in a row and lost 3 orcs. My orc captain did manage to get 2 kills, which is fantastic, but he's not compensating for his weaklings around him.
So the fight phase is almost over. How did you guys go on this side of the table?
A lot of elves winning fights off banner rerolls is what we've noticed. We've cut away at some fights here and there, dealt a second wound to the troll over here. Unfortunately, with the rest all gone, we've lost a lot of push on this side, but otherwise taken some casualties here and there. The main things were those trolls going down early, meant a lot of firing power has left the evil side. So we'll see what happens now with Gil-galad and Sauron.
Yeah, that's the main event. Let's get into it. And here is Sauron rolling, setting the bar. There we go.
Gil-galad's on a 6 as well.
All right. So we have a very important 50-50 roll-off here.
Elven Blade.
You do have an Elven-made spear. All right, so on a 1 or 2, Sauron will win this. On anything else, it goes to Gil-galad.
Big Conquest 6, baby.
All right, so I am D10. So roll your dice and see if you manage to wound me.
Do not wound.
That's certainly not enough.
But I'll take it that we didn't lose the fight.
And next turn, priority went to the good side, so I called the heroic move with my Blackguard captain, and the rest of these Blackguard orc are just advancing forwards.
And now it's Sauron's turn to move. He's going to charge into Gil-galad, but on the way in, he's going to cast Chill Soul on this bannerman using 2 will points. Oh!
So Sauron's magic failed again, but that's okay because I'm getting a bunch more Blackguard to help him out fighting against Gil-galad. Now, given that the good side only has 3 movement phases left, I called a heroic move with this orc captain as well, and because Elrond's out of might, he got to go first. This is allowing me to tie up and hold off the elves and Numenorians for longer, which hopefully can get me some points for controlling my buildings.
And that goes into the good movement phase. All these elves pushed forwards to leave space for Elendil to go forward. So where's he going to end up?
He's going to join Glorfindel and his son Isildur into 1 orc, and you can probably guess what might happen next.
Wow, so they're trying to get towards Sauron as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
PJ's running some of his elves out of the arena and towards the small orcish house in the back. That means that he's now threatening all 4 of the buildings on my side of the board.
Here we are at the end of the movement phase. Let's recap some of the important things that happen. What's going on in that barracks, Alex?
So we've had the 2 Numenorians who descend the ladder now go into the barracks, and we have 4 good models to your 3, so we have control of the barracks.
Capture the barracks, all right. Importantly in here, Gil-galad is trapped, so that could mean bad news for him. There's 1 orc in there against all the heroes in the world. The good side controls the arena, and they've got a strike force coming down here towards the slaughterhouse, but there's some orcs to respond to that.
We've also got some more men coming into
The
forge here, and hopefully by the end of this turn, we'll have control of that one as well.
So they're getting some points, but if we can kill Gil-galad this turn and Sauron's just happy running around, he's going to be able to claw this back for sure. And we went into the shooting phase where we had our 2 siege bows fire down into Anarion. They got a hit, a 6 on the scatter, and this could kill him. He doesn't have any fate, so a single 3 and he's gone.
Yes! Let's go!
I'm cheering for the wrong team, but I'm so glad a siege engine did something.
So there we go, take out Anarion. So that's Anarion and Aristor down. Wall shot down at my orcs and took out 2 of these archers from the arena. So that means that there's no evil models left in that building. So it's entirely controlled by the good side. But then in the evil shooting phase, we had a variety of archers from across a few buildings and the Citadel all fired in and managed to kill one of the elven archers in return. And that takes us to the start of the combat phase where we're declaring heroics. Gil-galad is out of might, so Sauron is calling a heroic strike to get to fight 10, meaning Gil-galad's in a lot of trouble. Elendil's also calling a free heroic combat as he's done every turn. Is there anything else?
Nothing else. There's no big heroes for Elendil or Glorfindel to worry about, so no need to strike up with them.
Alright, let's start with Elendil.
This one orc took about 1,000,000 wounds and 100% died. Isildur then charged into some of my Blackguard, which I'm actually alright with, because if I can kill him, he's worth points, and if he's fighting the Blackguard, they can hit really hard. Elendil did also charge into some of my Blackguard, and that is unfortunate because he's probably going to kill them, but again, if I can win that fight and put a wound on him or kill a horse, that's perfect for me. And the next fight was our troll, who ended up dying. It was sad to see him go down, but he had a great game, killing Arestor and a bunch of elves. Now in front of the gate, it's really important that we try to get as many kills as possible. It's really problematic that Glorfindel has run behind our lines towards the jail where he can free the prisoners, but for now, the best thing we can hope for is just getting kills, and it's actually going really well for us. If there's just less good models on the table and they're further back, they won't be able to get the objectives.
So we now have the main event. It's Sauron and a friend fighting Gil-galad. I heroic struck, so I am fight 10. That's higher than Gil-galad. Oh.
5 high.
You're on.
Cocked. And then
You're on a
all the
4.
rest. And then banner. Alex Blowman.
Don't do it.
Oh!
Thank
The little
God.
bit spit.
I won. All right.
Spit's turned it the other way.
And here we go. Rending. There is 3 wounds, and this guy's stabbing. 3 wounds on you.
Have to say the fate.
Have to take a fate. It's a 50-50.
Stop
Dead.
blowing on stuff.
Dead. Sauron has killed Gil-galad. That one was a big turn. Gil-galad going down is absolutely phenomenal. Elendil and Isildur are coming towards Sauron, but Glorfindel is over that side going for the jail, trying to release those prisoners. Now over on this side, it's just a mess of guys in there, but unfortunately the number of orcs in that area has been decreasing every single turn. So we're just going to have to try our best to hold these buildings.
And turn 10 is the second to last turn, and the forge has officially fallen now. There are more good models inside there than evil models. There's a chance I can claw it back, but I'm going to need some good rolling. The small orcish house was also captured by the elves and Numenorians this turn, which is not good for us because with the end of the game coming near, we're running out of time to get them out. And finally, the slaughterhouse is also being overrun this turn. We do have 2 archers and a Morgul Stalker in there, so we're not outnumbered yet, and that Morgul Stalker can hit hard, so we might be able to reclaim it.
And Glorfindel ran into the jail, he cut open the barricades, and the Numenorian prisoners were able to flee, and that counts as the point for the good side. So where's Glorfindel going to end up after that?
Glorfindel has a 12-inch movement, and I think if I have a tape measure, he is going to send it straight back into the fray and just get involved. I think we're probably going to go pin this man and spin into this section.
Alright, so he's not going towards Sauron's backline.
No, we've got someone else that can do that job.
And in front of Sauron, the elves were shimmying around and created a path for Elendil to charge into him. The good side knows that if they kill Sauron, it is the ultimate victory and they will instantly win. It's a tall ask, but it's worth sending it at this point. Isildur charged into the Blackguard captain, another Blackguard, and in front of the gates, the elves are just pushing forwards, but there's still a line of orcs there holding them at bay. The good side left Isildur exposed, and I'm going to try to exploit that by sending as many Blackguard into him as possible to trap him.
And here we are at the end of the move phase. It's been a massive one. We have Elendil versus Sauron. Isildur in there trapped by some Blackguard, but if he manages to get some kills, he can start heading towards the Citadel, which is, I think, the only building that Evil is currently still holding. And the shooting phase was very uneventful. Are there any heroics to declare this turn?
A strike from Elendil is probably a necessity to make sure he doesn't die to Sauron. And I think we're going to spend another might point on Glorfindel to call a combat.
So we're going to call a heroic combat with the Blackguard captain on Isildur, not for the purposes of moving on and going into other stuff, but to try and make that combat go first so that when Glorfindel and his heroic combat potentially kills all these guys, I still have the numbers fighting Isildur, keeping him trapped and
Alright.
in strife.
Fantastic. Give us a roll. 1, 2, 3 goes evil. 4, 5, 6 goes good. Goes evil.
Double Raptastic 6!
So we've ended up on a 6. Isildur, has also got the 6. It was worth the risk because that might have killed Isildur in there, but not today. Who does Isildur want to strike?
Is the captain trapped?
Captain will be trapped because his mate is in combat.
I think I'm going to throw strikes at him until he goes away. And then if I have any strikes left over, we'll go normal dudes.
D7 or is he still
D7.
D7,
But it's fives.
strength 5. So 5's first set, 1 wound. Second set, nothing. We're not going to spend a might point, we're just going to keep it to stay alive. Next turn,
2 wounds.
oh,
I'll burn our fate.
And luckily just survived that with the captain. Glorfindel made light work of his 2 opponents, and then he ran around into 2 of the Blackguard who would have been trapping Isildur, just so you can kill more of the elite troops. Around the battlefield, it was an interesting turn. We lost quite a few orcs, but we also did quite a bit of damage. Now next turn is the last turn, so all of the elves that are far away from the buildings have successfully been stopped from getting there, and we did actually do pretty well and get plenty of kills ourselves. Glorfindel did kill 2 Blackguard easily.
So now we have the main event. Elendil fighting Sauron. You called a strike. Let's see what your fight value goes to.
fight 7 to fight 10.
Fight 10. So you are above me. I'll set the bar. I'm only on a 5.
Still got my extra attack for the cavalry charge. I get
6,
You're at a
baby.
6. So you've won that. I'm defense 10. Your strength 5 with +1 to wound.
Yep,
So
5s by 3s.
5s by 3s.
Let's hopefully do a lot of damage. I don't have any more might, so I can't do anything, and I'll roll that 6 to see if I get the 3+.
Yes!
So there is a wound on Sauron. He's got 4 wounds left, and then the 1 ring. This is the final turn. Priority this turn went to the good side, but we've called a heroic move using Sauron. Sauron has 1 point of might left. The good side countered using Glorfindel, but unfortunately, the roll-off went evil. So we're going to move first with Sauron, and as he moves, he's going to cast Chill Soul on Elendil, trying to do a wound so we can kill him this turn.
Alright, Sauron is deciding to use 2 from his store and a free one to do his Chill Soul on Elendil.
So Elendil has 3 points of will in the bank and has Fortified Spirit on him, so he gets 2 more will points to resist every single spell. It's the last turn, let's throw it all.
And that is a successful resist. So he is not Chill Soul, not wounded. But we're going to finish our move by sending Sauron straight into him.
And around the rest of the board, everyone's just tying up as many bad guys, or good guys I guess, as possible to make sure they can't get any closer to any of our buildings.
And here we are in the final combat phase of the game. I'm going to start out with Sauron's last point of might to call a heroic combat. That means his fight's going to go first, and Elendil is going to be trapped in there. Any heroics from you guys?
Nothing to call.
All right, fantastic. Let's start with that one. It is the main event, but let's see how it goes. And here is Elendil versus Sauron. You want to set the bar for me, Alex?
Absolutely, 3 dice. We got the 6.
You got the 6. Here's Sauron. Oh, banner reroll. Oh!
Yes! Yes! Massive.
He pushes back. Can you do another wound to him? So that is 2 more wounds to Sauron. Wow.
And the rest of the fight's all wrapped up pretty quickly with Elrond getting another kill. He's been stuck over on that flank for a little while, and not gonna lie, he hasn't got much screen time this game, and lots of orcs just dying, some winning the fight and pushing back. Unfortunately, this Morgul Stalker died, which cost me that building. Isildur managed to kill the Blackguard captain, and then Glorfindel killed the Blackguard banner. And that is the game wrapped up.
And here we are at the end of the battle. Seriously, when we first started on the Kingdom of Azragor over 6 months ago, it was all leading up to this game. Let's have a look at the scores. The good side scores points for controlling the forge, the arena, the small house, the slaughterhouse, the barracks, and the jail. They got all 6 of the outer buildings, meaning that they got 6 points. The evil side, on the other hand, just kept the citadel for 3 points, meaning the final score is 6-3 in favor of the good guys. It has been a massive journey building this terrain, so if you like this terrain and you like this channel and you want to see more like it, please check out the Kickstarter.
Wow, what an end to a crazy game. Luckily, we managed to break through the gate. I wasn't sure a couple times. We lost a couple of the roll-offs on heroic moves, but we've managed to get in, clutch a win out, and do some decent damage to Sauron.
For Phenomenal game, absolute blast. Am a little bit disappointed that we weren't able to get the win. Really would have loved to have killed both High Kings, both Gil-galad and Elendil. But sweet lord, am I chuffed that I was able to kill Inarion with that siege bow. That was definitely the highlight of the game for me.
Wow, what an awesome game. I had so much fun doing the siege. I felt like I definitely did my part in getting over the walls and claiming as many buildings as possible.
Wow, what a game. Sieges like this one really are the culmination of everything that we're working for here at Conquest Creations. This terrain was a ton of fun to play with, and if you like this video, please consider grabbing some of this terrain for yourself. This has been Conquest Creations. Thank you for watching.